Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The day today began with the opposition claiming that they have no trust in Modi. And it ended with a guarantee by Modi himself. I will return for a third term. It's been a dramatic twist of political narrative with an unambiguous declaration by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. But today's no confidence motion brought in by the opposition, which is now christened itself INDIA, took me back to the year 2018, 1 year ahead of the general elections of 2019. The TDP had moved a no-trust motion over funds for Andhra Pradesh against the Modi Sarkar. Only 135 members supported the motion, while an overwhelming 330 member of parliament rejected it. The opposition always knew that they didn't have the numbers, but they used it as a political tool ahead of the elections of 2019. But they lost both the trust motion and the elections that followed. Today, 1 year before the 2024 polls, opposition says they have 141 and have challenged the might of the centre's 331 in the parliament yet again. This time over Manipur violence. They know that the numbers just do not stack up on their side, with the BJP enjoying a comfortable majority. But the opposition says that this will at least force the Prime Minister to come to the Parliament and have a discussion on Manipur. But the Prime Minister turned the tables on them. Even before the trust vote, he exuded confidence when he declared that he will return for a third term. His statement while he was inaugurating the newly constructed ITPO's Bharat Mandapam. Listen in.
तीसरे टर्म में पहली 3 इकोनॉमी में गर्व के साथ हिंदुस्तान खड़ा होगा दोस्तों। थर्ड टर्म टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी पे पहुंच के रहेगा भारत, और ये मोदी की गारंटी है। मैं देशवासियों को ये भी विश्वास दिलाऊंगा कि 2024 के बाद हमारे तीसरे टर्म में देश की विकास यात्रा और तेजी से बढ़ेगी। और मेरे तीसरे कार्यकाल में आप अपने सपने अपनी आंखों के सामने पूरे होते देखेंगे।
But let's go back to what transpired on the floor of the House earlier today when the opposition demanded accountability from Modi. Listen in.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं निम्नलिखित प्रस्ताव के लिए सदन की अनुमति चाहता हूं। ये सभा मंत्री परिषद में विश्वास का अभाव प्रकट करती है।
मैं उन सदस्यों से जो इस प्रस्ताव की अनुमति दिए जाने के पक्ष में ये अनुरोध करता हूं, अपने स्थान पर खड़े हो जाएं। इस प्रस्ताव की अनुमति दी जाती है। मैं सभी दलों के नेताओं से चर्चा कर और नियमों के तहत उचित समय पर चर्चा करने की तिथि से आप सबको अवगत करा दूंगा।
But why move a motion when you know it will be defeated? So far, 28 no-trust motions have been moved in independent India. Out of these, 24 times the incumbent governments have managed to sail through. Interestingly, Indira Gandhi faced 15 trust votes and managed to win each one of them. Today, her party is using the same tactic to corner the Prime Minister over Manipur, even though they don't have the numbers. Listen in.
Well, the India Alliance, through this no confidence motion, wants to present the fact that India alliance stands with Manipur. And the Prime Minister might have forgotten Manipur, but we have not forgotten. It is increasingly becoming a matter of our territorial integrity.
We would like to demand on behalf of India that this no confidence motion should be taken up for discussion tomorrow, and it should be voted upon at the earliest.
Many a times in India's parliamentary history, critical instruments of debate, dialogue and discussion within parliament are exercised.
ये सरकार की हराने की कोई बात नहीं है, उनके पास तो बहुमत ही बहुमत है, लेकिन बहुमत बड़ा चंचल होता है। आज बहुमत नहीं है, लेकिन जो हमें बात कहनी है उसके लिए हम एक मंच तैयार कर रहे हैं। नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन चल रही है कोशिश, हमारी बातें उस बहाने हमको पार्लियामेंट में हम रख सकते हैं, बात कर सकते हैं।
The BJP, of course, was ready to hit back at the opposition and called them opportunists who were having no issue left to corner the BJP-led government by Modi, and therefore they had picked up this as an excuse. Listen in.
हम चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार थे, मगर कोई विपक्ष पार्टी चर्चा के लिए तैयार नहीं है। इसलिए फाइनली दे केम फॉरवर्ड, जो नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन लगाने के लिए आए हैं।
कि इनका विषय सत्र शुरू होने से पहले यही था कि मणिपुर पे चर्चा कराओ। अब चर्चा कराने की जब हमने सहमति भरी तो रूल्स ले आए, रूल्स पे कुछ डिस्कशन पे सहमति बन रही थी तो एक नया मुद्दा ले आए कि प्रधानमंत्री जी आकर के चर्चा शुरू करें। ये मुझे लगता बहाना है।
देखिए, विपक्ष को ये अधिकार है, लेकिन इस सबों को मालूम है कि प्रचंड बहुमत वाली सरकार है। इसके पहले 2018 में भी नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन लाया था, बुरी तरह से गिरा और बीजेपी 288 से 303 पर पहुंच गई।
So, ladies and gentlemen, the legitimate question we are asking on the news hour tonight: who will win India's trust? That's the big question, and that's the big debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining me tonight on the News Hour is Shehzad Poonawala, BJP spokesperson. Also joining me tonight, H.L. Hanumantaiah, Member of Parliament representing the Congress Party, Saket Gokhale. Member of Parliament from the Trinamool Congress is making his debut on the News Hour tonight. Welcome and thank you for joining the News Hour. Also joining me tonight, Member of Parliament from the Shiv Sena Uddhav Thackeray Group, Mr. Arvind Sawant. We also have Dr. Anand Ranganathan joining the debate and Mahua Maji, Rajya Sabha Member of Parliament from the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha on the News Hour tonight. My first question goes to you, Dr. Hanumantaiah. There are many issues that could have been picked up in the Parliament session. 5 days have gone by, and if Manipur was the real issue that the opposition wanted to pick up, by bringing in a no-confidence motion, haven't you just lost the opportunity to just discuss threadbare the issue of Manipur? Because when it comes to the no-confidence motion, there will be so many other issues that will come up. It won't be about Manipur alone. So has the opposition actually lost the battle when it was trying to actually win one skirmish?
You know, the Manipur issue is the core issue of this parliament because people are dying in Manipur, women were raped, there is no law and order, there is a government in Manipur which is not taking any action, which is not giving any protection to the people of Manipur. On the other hand, the Home Ministry in the country has not taken any action on the state government and to protect the people of Manipur. Do you think the opposition parties has to keep quiet and not to discuss this issue as the major part of the parliament session? So we have taken up, all the opposition parties together has taken up that Manipur issue has to be discussed in the parliament without any delay. The people of Manipur has to be given a shelter, and the people of Manipur has to be given the confidence so that they can live in this country, and Manipur is part of India. We must now show when the parliament session is going on. When the government is not interested to discuss, they say we will discuss under 157, which is a short duration discussion. Do you think a short duration discuss will solve the problem of Manipur, and people in the parliament can express their opinion on the Manipur violence and Manipur law and order situation? So there is no alternative for opposition parties to demand for 267 discussion. But my question is, what is the problem with the government to allow a discussion on 267? Can we go by just presidency of the parliament and say that we have not been given for many years, so now it is not going to be given? Is it a shelter for the government to say that this will not be allowed to discussion under 267? My question is, 267 takes up the issues relating to Manipur and the law and order situation in Manipur and the security, safety of the women in Manipur. You know, it is unheard of the Indian
Mr.
scenario.
Mr. Hanumantaya, now there is a lot of water under the bridge because 267 has gone, and now there is a no trust motion that has come in, which has been accepted also by the speaker. So it is going to be a no trust vote that will be held in parliament. Lekin Arvind Sawant ji, सवाल मेरा आपसे, नहीं, 1 minute, let me get in Mr. Arvind Sawant of the Shiv Sena. No, अरविंद सावंत जी, मेरा सवाल आपसे है कि इस देश में जहां बिजली नहीं होती वहां पर गोली चला दी जाती है, लोग मर जाते हैं. आज बिहार में हुआ. आज आप जानते हैं कि राजस्थान में क्या हुआ है और राजस्थान में पिछले कुछ दिनों में क्या हुआ. अब जवाब उसका क्या है? अगर बिहार में कुछ हो रहा है तो उसकी चर्चा ना हो, नो ट्रस्ट अगेंस्ट मोदी. राजस्थान में रेप कैपिटल है, कुछ ना हो, नो ट्रस्ट अगेंस्ट मोदी. बंगाल के पंचायती चुनाव में मौतें हो जाएं, सवाल मत पूछिए, नो ट्रस्ट अगेंस्ट मोदी. मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूं कि सरकार से आपको सवाल पूछना है मणिपुर पर, तो क्या ये सवाल सिर्फ नरेंद्र मोदी को कटघरे में खड़े करने के लिए है या असल में मणिपुर की चिंता करने के लिए है?
आप अगर थोड़ा सा मुझे समय दे, क्योंकि आज ही वो जो उद्घाटन हुआ भारत मंडपम में, तो आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहा कि मोदी गिव्स यू अ गारंटी. शब्द क्या है? हमारी सरकार नहीं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी नहीं, मोदी गिव्स यू द गारंटी. व्हेन समवन स्पीक्स लाइक दिस, the question will raise like this only. Naturally, it will be Modi. अभी रही बात, आपने जो 3 राज्यों के साथ में मणिपुर का विषय जोड़ने की कोशिश की, वो आप महिला होकर भी आपको सही लगता है कि आपसे दिल से पूछिए, खुद के दिल से पूछिए. मणिपुर में 206 से अधिक लोग मर गए. Can you compare with that incidents of Rajasthan, Bihar and West Bengal? Can you compare like this? I feel ashamed of myself when you compare people like this and want to divert the total importance of the issue. That is very, very, deplorable, I can say it like this. बड़ा बुरा लगता है. इतना गंभीर होना चाहिए था. क्या आप जनतंत्र मानते हो कि नहीं मानते हो? जब जनतंत्र मानते थे तो इतना इतना बड़ा हाकर, जैसे आपने अभी इन 3 राज्यों का स्पर्श किया, तो जब इतनी घटना मणिपुर में हो रही थी तो एक प्रश्न आपसे है कि यही घटना अगर किसी अन्य राज्य में, जैसे वही राजस्थान, बिहार या किसी अन्य राज्य में होती तो क्या सरकार बरकरार रहती? क्या आप इस्तीफा नहीं मांगते मुख्यमंत्री का? शांत बैठे हो। माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय ने इस पे दखल ली और उन्होंने कहा कि अगर आप चुप कर बैठेंगे तो हम इसको इनिशिएटिव ले लेंगे। तब जाकर आदरणीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का मुंह खुल गया। कितने दिनों के बाद? 70 दिनों के बाद। जातिवाद पर वहां हमला हो रहा है, साइड में उसके सीमा पर चाइना है और हम नीरो फिडल बजा रहा है, रोम जल रहा है। लाइक दैट वी वर सिटिंग ऑन फिडलर ऑन द रूफ, फिडलर इज नीरो। दिस इज व्हाट इज हैपनिंग इन द कंट्री। अब मणिपुर इतना जलने के बाद में भी आप पूछते हो नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन क्यों दिया? क्यों दिया? क्योंकि हमने आपके पास एडजर्नमेंट मोशन दिया था। पिछले 5 दिन नियमों के आधार पर बुढ़ा देने की ताकत में आपके है ना। अब स्पीकर साहब कहते नहीं दे देंगे, नहीं दे देंगे। आप जो कहेंगे उसी नियम पर चर्चा होनी चाहिए क्या? प्रधानमंत्री जी बाहर बोल रहे हैं, सदन में नहीं बोलेंगे? जब पार्लियामेंट चालू हो तब क्यों नहीं बोलेंगे? उसका कोई जवाब है? नहीं। अब आप कहते हैं उन्होंने अनुमति देनी पड़ती है। जब 50 से ज्यादा लोग, ज्यादा सांसद अविश्वास का प्रस्ताव लेके आते हैं तो माननीय सभापति जी को, अध्यक्ष जी को अनुमति देनी पड़ती है। कुछ उपकार किए नहीं है। अगर वो एडजर्नमेंट मोशन मान लेते थे तो ये अविश्वास का प्रस्ताव ही नहीं आता था। नहीं करनी है ना चर्चा, चर्चा नहीं करनी।
ऑल राइट,
आप डाइवर्ट करने की बात।
ऑल राइट, फेयर पॉइंट। शहजाद पूनावाला, द क्वेश्चन टुनाइट
आपका हृदय भी विदीर्ण होना चाहिए। मणिपुर से आपका भी हृदय विदीर्ण होना चाहिए, आपका भी हृदय विदीर्ण होना चाहिए।
Absolutely, Arvind Savantji. Can anybody in this country not acknowledge that what happened in Manipur is actually a blot on India's conscience? Each one of us hangs our heads in shame, and there is no two ways about it. And there is no if and but about it, and there is no if and but about whether Manipur is serious or not. But the question is that if you wanted a discussion threadbare on Manipur, is the no confidence motion the correct way of doing it? What would you do? What would you do if there are other issues that are debated and discussed more than the issue of Manipur? But let me get in Shehzad Poonawalla. Shehzad Poonawalla, the question tonight is, why have things come to such a pass between the treasury benches and the opposition benches? Is there just no room for any kind of consensus anymore in Parliament?
Thank you, Navika. First of all, I'm delighted that Saket has made it to Parliament, and I congratulate him for his new innings. And I hope that just like I have heard the 2 other speakers very patiently, I will also be accorded the same dignity, even though I'm not in Parliament and Anand Ranganathan perhaps doesn't want to go to Parliament. But anyways, let me begin by saying that आखिरकार उतर ही गया हिजाब, आखिरकार उतर ही गया हिजाब और दिख गई असलियत, जिसे पहनाया था मुद्दों का नकाब, वो निकली मोदी के लिए केवल और केवल नफरत. What do I mean by this? Today it's proven without doubt that who is changing the goalpost. Navika, even before this dreadful video from Manipur had come, we had said in all party meeting, let's discuss the issue of Manipur. These people had agreed. Then there was a business advisory council where the entire structure of discussion debate is decided, and they had decided that we will discuss it in this particular format. Nobody objected to it. It was a unanimous decision. Then when they reach Parliament, they change the stand and overrule. They start fighting and they say in 267 alone we must have discussion, or else no discussion, even if it is on an important issue like women's safety in India, and they started changing the goalposts. By the way, this is an old trend they have done. You remember they wanted a discussion on Mehengai, they went on the issue of Rafale. They wanted discussion on COVID, they went on issue of Pegasus. They wanted discussion on other issues, they started raising BBC documentary, and all these issues they have had to face the Supreme Court or the other agencies which have given and vindicated whatever stand we have taken. But today let's come back to this issue. issue, they are now saying that only the discussion should be under 267. All parliamentarians are sitting here. I have the rule 267. Navika, you have covered parliament for many, many years. Where does the rule 267, which is suspension of business of the House, allow the government to make the first opening statement? This is the rule in which the entire proceeding of the House is suspended, and ipso facto the opposition, which is raising the issue, which is so urgent in nature, has to keep the first statement. There is no provision in 267 rule of Rajya Sabha to make the first statement by the government, be it by the Prime Minister or by the Home Minister, but forget that issue. Now come to the insincerity of this entire thing, not just goalpost changing. Today the entire speaker, the first speaker has said, we know we don't have number. Sir, you just don't not have the numbers. You don't even have the niyat. You are acknowledging that confidence of the House and therefore the confidence of country is with Modi ji. But because you want to target him on an issue, therefore you want to use this issue. Therefore, I ask you, if it is not the case, then we were ready to have the discussion in the House on the situation of all the women across the country. Who is dividing the women of the country on state lines? You call yourself, as per the acronym, India. India means the entire country is together, and you have said Union of States makes India. So then how can you divide the women of India, or the stripping and the dehumanizing of women of India, into state boundaries? And let me tell you the difference between the two incidents. On one hand, you have Manipur, where the strong action has been taken, and we are saying, apologizing for Manipur. But on the other hand, in Malda, and I'm sorry to say, my dear friend Saket will tell us, Malda, Mamta Banerjee has said it is as fake as Pulwama. Was Pulwama fake? Are you giving Pakistan clean sheet? Was Malda video fake? Forget that. Then Shashi Panja. Navika, I have sent you the video of Shashi Panja. It has played on your channel. Shashi Panja, minister, says, Kitna kapda nikla? Jitna bhi kapda nikla, usko rajnetik jush mein se kyun dekhna? I have all these videos. I don't want to play it. It will embarrass people. Shashi Panja takes a stand. Not one member of the opposition says that we condemn this wholeheartedly. I am saying you forget about Rajasthan. You wanted charcha. The minister of Rajasthan government wanted a charcha in Rajasthan Assembly about Rajasthan's women. Okay. But there you say that no, and you immediately dismiss him. Therefore, it is very clear that your agenda was never discussion. It was only and only Modi Virod, and in that you have taken this stand. And if not, today you call yourselves India. Arvind Savantji, I ask you, India mein, one last line, Navika, one last line. In India, there are also Hindus. Today, Kasargod in Kerala, your ally, Union Muslim League, who you call secular, has given death threat and genocide threat to the Hindu community. Is this idea of India? Women being raped in Rajasthan and Chief Minister saying 50% rape cases are fake. Is this idea of India? Or is Mamta Banerjee saying Malda is fake?
We'll get to that in just a minute. But let me get in Mr. Saket Gokhale. Mr. Saket Gokhale, the only charge against the opposition is that somewhere or the other it's being selective. And that is a charge that the opposition must take on its chin, given the fact that the opposition is bringing in a no confidence motion when you know that if it's a no confidence motion, then Manipur can only be one of the issues. It will not be the only issue that is going to be debated in Parliament, number one. And number two, the priority that the Manipur debate should have got, has it been lost because there are ego battles that are on either side?
Thank you for having me on your show, Navika Kumar ji, and also thank you to Mr. Poonawalla for his very kind wishes. Now, let me answer your question very straight in 4 points. Number one, this no confidence motion is not about numbers. It has nothing to do with numbers. But having been sitting in the Parliament since the session started this week, in the last 2 days, I, along with at least 40 to 50 members of Parliament, have filed a Rule 267 notice in the Rajya Sabha. Our demand has been very simple. Let Prime Minister Modi come and discuss the Manipur issue with us. Now the BJP says Union Home Minister Amit Shah has offered to debate. That is pointless, and I'll tell you why. Because on the Manipur crisis, Union Minister Amit Shah has already held an all-party meeting, which was called to apparently brief all parties on what actions are being taken. This was after Mr. Amit Shah visited Manipur. What came out of that meeting? Absolutely nothing. The condition in Manipur today is the same as it was 70 days ago. If this video would not have become viral now,
people's attention would not have, the media would not have even covered Manipur and covered the atrocities. After this horrific video went viral, we now know that a freedom fighter's 80-year-old wife was paraded naked. We know that a Kargil Jawan's wife was sexually assaulted. All these reports would not have come out because the government was trying to bury them. Number 3, why is the no confidence motion being brought? Yes, we have no option left because the BJP wants to discuss everything. The Prime Minister has time to go and inaugurate functions. The Prime Minister has time to go sit the entire day and do an inauguration ceremony, but he doesn't have time to attend Parliament and address the nation on one of the most critical emergencies facing us today, which is Manipur. As far as comparing Manipur to other states goes, which is a very classic whataboutery and deflection style, let me ask everybody, including all of us MPs and the non-MPs that are on this panel, do you feel unsafe taking a flight tonight to Kolkata? Do you feel unsafe taking a flight tonight to Jaipur? Do you feel unsafe going to Ranchi tomorrow morning and having breakfast? But will you dare go to Imphal airport right now? Will you be allowed to even step outside of 8 in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening? So please do not compare a humanitarian crisis that is happening in Manipur with 1 or 2 incidents that are happening in other states. And if you have to look at other states, then why Rajasthan, Bengal and Chhattisgarh only? Are women safe in Gujarat? Are you telling me there are no rapes that have happened in Gujarat? Are you telling me there are no rapes that have happened in other BJP ruled states? Are we saying there is no rapes happening in Madhya Pradesh? So please, this sort of deflection is an insult to the women and to the tribals of Manipur. Our simple point behind this no confidence motion is this. Prime Minister Modi has been afraid of addressing the parliament. Prime Minister Modi, over the last 1 week, he might talk about his 3rd term right now at some function, but this is a man who in February during the budget session said, "Ek akela sab pe bhari padega." And then when the Bengaluru summit of the India Alliance happened, this same Modi felt the need to get 38 parties with barely any MPs together to show that it is 38 versus 26. Agar ek aadmi sab pe bhari padta hai, so why is the dead NDA being resurrected right now with 38 parties? That is because Mr. Modi does not have confidence that he can win on his own. The second thing here is, this is the battle. You might choose to call it INDI and spell it out. The bottom line is, this is the battle between India and the BJP. We might not have numbers in the House because the election happened in 2019. Yes, BJP members will vote for their own government and say we have trust in the government. The bottom line here, though, is BJP and their allies have 35 to 40% of the vote share. The remaining 60% is with India. And 60%, the representatives of 60%
I wish
that we have no confidence.
I wish, Saket Gokhale ji, that mathematics could solve every problem. I wish life was only about mathematics, not about chemistry.
Forget mathematics. Sorry, just give me 2 minutes, Ms. Navika Kumar. Forget mathematics. I'm saying let the Prime Minister come and talk on.
I'll come back to you. Other people are on the panel. I have to give you equal time. I will come back to you. I will come back to you, Saket Gokhale, but let me get in Dr. Anand Ranganathan. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, fair point, Manipur, not like other states, needs to be discussed fairly and squarely, and maybe a longish discussion only on Manipur. I don't think anybody would shy away from accepting that fact. In which case, what has the opposition achieved by bringing in the no confidence motion? Have they got what they wanted? Or now, are they happy just because they will manage to get the Prime Minister onto the floor of the House, and they may still have the Home Minister responding to Manipur?
Good evening, Navika. First of all, can I please compliment you on having a wonderful debate, very reasonable points brought out by everyone, and I hope our Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha debates are held like that. Maybe you should be our next speaker. There are 3 issues here, Navika. And let me go through them. No, honestly, I mean, you look at the smiling faces of the government spokespersons and the opposition. I think it's wonderful. I think yes, but
I'm quite happy doing my job, Anand Ranganathan. Please do not push me into a pit where I don't know how to come out, and may I tell everybody that I can't run the parliament even if I wanted to, because here we actually don't allow people to speak over each other, and that is impossible to do in Parliament. So I have my limit.
Thank you. Navika, 3 points. I think the issues have built upon by the time my turn has come. So please allow me a couple of minutes because there are 3 points I'd like to talk on. One is the issue of trust. That is the nub of the debate that you began with. Do people trust Modi? The second is about what the opposition has done or not done, the hypocrisy. And the third is about the Manipur. So let me very briefly come through all 3, acknowledging wonderful points made by everyone else before me. Now, number 1, Navika, the opposition may not have any confidence in Narendra Modi, but the fact of the matter is, what matters is, do the Indians have confidence in Narendra Modi? Did they show confidence in 2014? The answer is yes. Did they show confidence in 2019? The answer is an emphatic yes. Will they show confidence in Narendra Modi in 2024? Well, I don't know about that, but let the work of the man speak for itself. For example, here is a man who within a year administered 1 billion Indians vaccines twice over. That is what builds trust. Here is a guy who has, I have myself acknowledged, done many wrongs and I have stated those wrongs, but one of the things that he's done spectacularly right is delivered 170 million cylinders, LPG cylinders. He's made 113 million toilets, and each toilet made in a household has saved 52,000 for that family in terms of health and other benefits. So do people trust Modi? The answer, I would have to say yes. 2024, Shehzad may be in a better position to answer. Now, number 2, this is not the time to talk about the hypocrisy of the opposition, because the fact of the matter is that the opposition has been outrageously selective. When Mr. Gokhale talks about the other events that have happened, sexual assaults in other states, and he says why Manipur is different, I like to remind him that in Punjab, in Gurdaspur, there was nearly a riot because people wanted justice for a 13-year-old girl who was gang raped, and the police did not act for 6 months. In fact, they let the perpetrator flee. There are so many cases like that in Rajasthan. So it's not a question of whataboutery. And let me also tell him, after congratulating him for being nominated and a member of Rajya Sabha, that it was along with Ms. Shushmita Dev, that Saket Gokhale, when he was in Congress, was castigating the TMC for perpetrating the post-poll Bengal violence. Was he a Sanghi? No, he wasn't. Was he a communist? No, he wasn't. He was in the Congress.
I never said
now,
that.
of
Sorry.
course.
That is false, sir.
Mr. Gokhale, I did not.
What you're saying is factually incorrect.
Please, this
what you're saying is factually incorrect, sir. I have to
please allow me to speak.
Statements to me that I haven't. You can make your point.
Me to speak.
You can make your point, but do not attribute statements to me.
Now listen, please, 1 second. You were in the
point of order here, which is the fact that you are contesting Saket Gokhale. Which is the fact that you are contesting?
The fact is, I want him to show me that I have castigated the government of West Bengal for apparently post-poll violence when I was, according to him, in the Congress. I was neither a member. So my point is, let him make his point without personally insinuating falsehoods. Please don't do that.
Did the Congress
is good enough for that.
Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan.
Navika, what I said was,
he's just become a politician, yeah. Don't go at him on the first day.
On the first day, all right. The fact of the matter is that a party that was, now please don't interrupt, yeah.
This is very well, but if you lie, I will call you out. Beat my first day, beat 5 years ago, beat anywhere. Lies. Look,
let's not, Navika, let's not talk about lies here. A man who lied.
I think you have to give some respect to members. As far as new and old goes, that is not the comment that is expected of you.
Okay, let's not divert ourselves from the debate at hand. Let's not divert from the debate at hand. Let's stay on course and let's talk about the issue that we are debating. Yes.
So, can I just finish? And it's not about lies, because I can also talk about people who've lied about the Morbi bridge collapse or the RTI crowdsourcing and all that. I'm not wanting to go into that. What the point I'm making is, it's not about the hypocrisy or the selectivity of the opposition. Point number 3, and this is very important. I have said this from day one. I still don't understand why Mr. Modi did not talk about Manipur from day one. And right now, it's not just a matter of half an hour debate on Manipur. It should be for days, because then the people of India would realize what the situation was before these 2 months in Manipur versus what the situation was of Manipur during the UPA days, when you had blockades lasting more than half a year, when you had AFSPA in most of the Manipur, when you had, not as much peace or stability as there was the case after 2017 till 2 months ago. And even in these 2 months, I want the people to know the truth through our parliament. What has exacerbated this situation? Is it the BJP? Is it the Congress? Or is it the High Court judgment? And even after that, are you going to castigate the 40,000 troops that are present in Manipur when someone from Shiv Sena says that Manipur is exploding right now or something to that extent? They do not denigrate our troops that are there, that are holding peace at this point. So the bottom line is, number one, do people trust Modi? The answer is yes. Number two, is the opposition hypocritical? Yes, but I'm not bothered about that because I want a debate on Manipur and I want the truth to come out.
Fair point. And let me get in Mahua Maji. Mahua Maji, if people of India trust Modi, if in 2018 there was a no trust vote and everybody knows what happened in 2019, once again there is a no trust vote. Are you trying to prove a point that Modi doesn't enjoy the trust of the people? Or you already know that he enjoys the trust of the people. You don't have the numbers on the floor of the House, but somehow or the other, you want to target Narendra Modi and make this Modi versus, and I don't call it INDIA India because the name itself has I.N.D.I.A. So I have no choice but to call it that, Mr. Gokhale. But respond, Mahua Maji.
सबसे पहले तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगी कि इंडिया से मोदी सरकार इतनी भयभीत हो गई है कि हर बार आपने देखा होगा कि उसका नकल किया जा रहा है। जैसे ही बेंगलुरु में एक मीटिंग हुई, तुरंत उन्होंने दिल्ली में सेम डेट में मीटिंग रखी, उसमें 38 पार्टीज को ज्वाइन कराया। ऐसे ऐसे पार्टियों के साथ गठबंधन किया जिनके पास न तो एक MP और न ही MLA है। दूसरी बात, जिस दिन गांधी स्टैचू के सामने टीम इंडिया ने वहां पे धरने का प्रोग्राम किया, 10:30 से रखा, उन्होंने 9:45 बजे ही वहां अपने लोगों को भेज दिया, 300 MPs को भेज दिया। लगातार ये क्यों बार बार ये इंडिया की बात कर रहे हैं? तो अच्छी बात है कि उससे सरकार डर गई है और चाहती है कि उसकी कोई भी मांग ना मानी जाए। जब आपने देखा कि संसद में एक छोटा सा डिमांड था कि माननीय मोदी जी आकर वहां पर मणिपुर मुद्दे पर बात करें, वो अब आज उन्होंने एक इनॉग्रेशन किया इतना बड़ा, इतनी देर तक वो पूजा पाठ कर सके, वो मीडिया के सामने भी बयान दे रहे हैं, वो विदेशों में भी जा रहे हैं, लेकिन अपने ही देश में इतनी बड़ी बड़ी घटनाएं हो रहे हैं, जेनोसाइड की घटना हो रही है, उस पर वो क्यों नहीं बयान दे रहे हैं? जब 80 दिनों से 70 दिनों से ये घटनाएं हो रही थी, आप कैसे कह रहे थे कि वहां शांति की बहाली हो गई है? आप शांति की बहाली अगर होती तो फिर इंटरनेट कनेक्शन आपने क्यों नहीं वहां से वो क्यों काट के रखे हैं? आप बंगाल में, राजस्थान में और जगहों पे तो आपने इंटरनेट कनेक्शन नहीं काटा।
शहजाद पूनावाला, क्या आप डर गए हैं? क्या आप डर गए हैं? क्या इसलिए मणिपुर पर चर्चा नहीं हो रही और प्रधानमंत्री बोल नहीं रहे?
मैं एक और बात कहना चाहूंगी, नाविका जी, महिला और बाल विकास मंत्री जो कि महिला है, वो क्यों नहीं अभी तक
नाविका जी, मैं जवाब देना चाहता हूं।
वो क्यों नहीं आगे आ रही है जो छोटे छोटे मुद्दों पर अपनी बयान देती हैं?
नाविका जी, मैं जवाब दे सकता हूं। धन्यवाद। नाविका जी, देखिए अब कुछ लोग
जी शहजाद जी जवाब दीजिए।
महुआ जी, आदरणीय सांसद जी, मैंने आपकी पूरी बात सुनी।
सरकार कर क्या रही है महिला मुद्दे पर?
सांसद जी, मैंने आपकी पूरी बात सुनी, आप मुझे अपनी बात रखने दीजिए। देखिए नाविका जी, अभी उन्होंने क्या कहा कि आप इंडिया से क्यों डरते हैं? सांसद जी बताइए, जब हमारी देश की सिक्योरिटी एजेंसीज इंडियन मुजाहिदीन के आतंकवादियों को मारती है तो इंडिया से डरती है क्या? जब हमारे देश की एजेंसीज PFI के कट्टरवादियों को जेल में डालती है तो इंडिया से डरती है क्या? या जब हमारे स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने, बाबू गेनू, मंगल पांडे ने ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का विरोध किया तो इंडिया से डरते हैं? मैडम, रावण भी साधु का वेश पहनकर आया था। हम साधु से नहीं, रावण से लड़ते हैं, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी की मानसिकता से लड़ते हैं। और मैं आपको एक ही सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं, आप कह रहे हैं ना इंडिया से डरते हैं, सिमी में इंडिया था, स्टूडेंट इस्लामिक मूवमेंट ऑफ इंडिया, उसको प्रतिबंध लगाया गया कोर्ट के द्वारा। महुआ जी, मैंने आपके बीच में नहीं बोला। महुआ जी, मैंने आपके बीच में नहीं बोला। महुआ जी, मैंने आपके बीच में नहीं बोला।
Are you trying to say कि opposition ऑपोजिशन, आप ऑपोजिशन को रावण साधु के भेष में कह रहे हैं?
ऐसा
आई वांट टू क्लैरिफाई।
नाविका जी, मैंने तो ये उदाहरण दिया, आपने इसको पर्सनली इन्होंने अगर ले लिया तो वो बताए जिन्होंने हिंदू आतंक कहा, जिन्होंने कहा कि आरएसएस मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड है। महुआ जी देखिए, मैंने आपके बीच में नहीं बोला, आप सांसद है, आप एक सांसद है। नाविका जी, इस प्रकार से चर्चा में किसी को कुछ समझ में नहीं आएगा, बात ग्राउंड हो जाएगी। वैसे भी ऑपोजिशन के पैनलिस्ट है, मुझे अपनी बात रखने दीजिए, अपने समय पे बोले, वो कोई समस्या नहीं है। नाविका, मैं अपनी बात रख दूं, मैं बीच में नहीं बोलना चाहता सांसद।
कंप्लीट योर पॉइंट, कंप्लीट योर पॉइंट।
महुआ जी, अब आपको थोड़ा सा देखिए, स्पीकर की भी नहीं सुनते और नाविका की भी नहीं सुनते।
महुआ जी, allow him to complete his point and I will come back to you. I'm running out of time. We are wasting time. Yes, Shehzad, complete your point. 30 seconds.
नाविका जी, मैंने तो किसी की तुलना जैसे आरएसएस की तुलना मुस्लिम ब्रदरहुड से की, ऐसे तो तुलना ही नहीं की। हाँ, पर इंडियन मुजाहिदीन के बारे में इतना दुख क्यों हो रहा है? कांग्रेस के ही नेता ने कहा था, खुर्शीद अहमद ने, कि इंडियन मुजाहिदीन टेरर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन नहीं है। सिमी को तो बचाव करने के लिए लालू और मुलायम सामने आ गए थे। याकूब मेमन के लिए कांग्रेस के मंत्री असलम शेख ने पत्र लिखकर कहा था कि वो मासूम है। तो ये कैसा इंडिया है? अरे छोड़े बाकी सब, 370 पर क्या स्टैंड है कांग्रेस का? 370 लागू हो। पुलवामा पर क्लीन चिट अभी किसने दिया? ममता दीदी ने। ये इंडिया है क्या? और दूसरी बात छोड़िए बाकी सब, साकेत गोखले जी की एक बात मुझे बड़ी बेहद दुखद लगी। साकेत गोखले, 1 सेकंड, 10 सेकंड और, केवल 10 सेकंड, ओनली 10 सेकंड्स। साकेत जी ने कहा, today if you take flight to Imphal you will be scared, but not a flight to Kolkata. But Saket, I ask you, if you are a victim to Rajasthan, in Rajasthan, don't take a flight and remain there, because the Rajasthan chief minister says 50% cases are fake. Shanti Dhariwal says rapes will happen because it's a mardon ka pradesh. If you are a victim in Kolkata or in Malda, the chief minister says your video is fake. The minister for women and child says that how many clothes were removed? Only little clothes were removed. Full clothes should have been removed. You know, this is the kind of double standards they have.
I'll give both the members of parliament a chance to respond. Yes, Saket Gokhale first and then Mr. Hanumantaiah. Saket.
And you know, it's quite unfortunate, first of all, for Mr. Poonawalla to say this, considering that his own party was defending Brij Bhushan Sharan all these days, despite restless setting on protesters, sexual assault at a POXO accused.
Can you show me who defended?
Delhi police doesn't go on. So let's not get into this.
This is what about Saket, can you show me who defended?
Mr. Poonawalla.
Mr. Gokhale, you made a charge, just like you intervened when Anand made a so-called charge against you. I am asking you, prove your charge. Prove your charge where anybody defended. In fact, we took action against Brij Bhushan. Charge sheet has been filed. Vera Muthu has been accused by Chinmay Sripada. Mr. Stalin goes and meets him. 17 cases have been put against him. Stalin goes and meets him, not a single FIR. Your chief minister says that Malda is fake. You are defending. Ashok Gehlot says 50% cases are fake. You are defending. We have not defended. So you prove your charge. Prove your charge.
Shout at somebody, that's not a debate. You're not letting me finish. I did not interrupt.
You intervened when Anand was speaking. I have intervened when you have spoken. Tell me the answer.
Again, Navika ji, will you let me speak? Then I can speak with your permission.
Yes, please go on. Make your point.
First of all, you spoke about, you know, I might be a new MP, but I'm very old to this whole BJP tactic and the tactic of their cronies to get into whataboutery and personal attacks. So I'm not even going to go into that. You said I.N.I.D.I.A. आप BJP का नाम B.J.P लिखते हैं, आप India को N.B.A लिखते हैं. So please don't tell me this dot comes in the middle. The alliance is called India. And number 3, this whataboutery. Simple question. Asked a very simple question.
Do you call it ink?
Prime Minister Modi. एक आदमी सब पे भारी है, like he says. Why does he now need 38 parties which are nobodies to support him? And why is he afraid to come in Parliament and speak?
Well,
आने तो no confidence motion में I'm happy.
Well, कौन कितना strong है, who's the strongest of them all will only be decided by the Janta of India, and that the citizens of India are going to vote only in 2024. Till then, how do we know who's more popular on the floor of the House? Well, the numbers, what they say is that it is 141 versus 331. So the no trust move of the opposition really doesn't seem to be able to prove a point, even if it comes to that. But the point is that this is pure politics, just in the build-up to the elections of 2024. And if it is just that, then what about Manipur? Are we really worried about Manipur? Or is this also part of pure politics? We leave that question for the viewers today to answer. Thank you very much to all my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. On